On Wick Chapter 2, people, because I'm actually quite excited to talk about this thing right here. So let's get this thing going, right? The Lego Batman movie obviously comes out this week, right? And we also have 50 Shades Darker for the most part. Now, these two movies are probably going to cause a little bit of a dilemma for most men, or probably even women just to begin. We don't discriminate here. It's pretty much this, right? You're probably going to be dragged to either the Lego Batman movie or you might be dragged to 50 Shades Darker. And I can tell you this right now, if somebody does that to you, pretty much tell them this. Go fuck yourself, go fuck your Lego bricks, and go fuck the whips and chains because I'm going to see John Wick Chapter 2. And if you do that, congratulations. You're going to get a pretty badass fucking movie that's going to boost your testosterone so much that you're going to have an erection from start to fucking finish. And if it's go 4 hours, then you might want to call a goddamn doctor, right? So John Wick Chapter 2 is what we like to call, I like to call pretty much, a masterclass in gunography. I mean, like, legitimately a masterclass in gunography to the point where there's so many weapons and so many fucking shits people use to kind of like kill people with. I don't even know what to describe it with. And it's almost like a little bit of like some sort of like master class, as I said, and you really want all these type of weapons kind of explained to you because they do it in such a peaceful manner that you don't know what the hell is going on here. It's a little bit of a ludicrousness inside of this world of John Wick, but you understand it because it's believable in some sort of way. And that's the thing about this movie. Everybody's kind of game to play inside of this like weird funhouse, and Keanu Reeves is like the orchestrator of it, leading the pack, so to speak. Now, overall, John Wick Chapter 2 is definitely a bit of a retread of the first one. And that's not necessarily a bad thing per se, and it may not be as emotionally in-depth as the first one, but that's okay because obviously, if you know, this takes place a few days after the events of the first one, and that's pretty much our connection to John to begin with. We have our emotional weight of the film pretty much carrying over to this one. We have our emotional core of Wick inside of our head, and it pretty much carries over, as I said. Now, the action scenes is pretty much where things kind of step it up, right? Here's the thing about this movie, right? And legitimately, most movies, when they kind of get a bigger budget, they kind of, go in world building, they kind of add some special effects, some CGI, whatever it may be. You know what John Wick does when they kind of get a bigger budget? They add a higher body count. That's literally what they fucking do. And I feel like they do it so well to the point where I don't even have a problem. And I know obviously killing's bad. Killing's very bad. But I have to kind of give them their props because they do it so smoothly and so fantastic, the killing or even the action scene just to begin with, to the point where I feel like it really does work very well. Now, as I said, this movie does kind of feel very much like the first one, but I don't think they do, like I said, I don't think they take advantage of the fact that you like the stuff in the first one and they just do it again to kind of get a quick cash grab. I think they actually do the stuff that worked in the first one, but also elevate it by adding new characters and expanding on stuff with the Continental and the Assassins. And I think they actually do a really good job at kind of broadening, if that's a word, that's not a word, opening up the fucking world of John Wick. Just to begin with, I feel like you really do get something quite fantastic. Now, the cast is obviously stellar. You get people coming up with cameos. You got pretty much, small appearances, whatever it may be. But you get a really fantastic cast with Keanu Reeves leading the pack there. And Keanu Reeves, I don't know what it is, but this guy is literally fantastic in almost every fight scene that he's in, to the point where you would think that it's a stunt double, but they clearly show that it's Keanu Reeves, and this guy really worked his ass off. I mean, like, this guy knows how to deliver it. Now, this movie is not necessarily a plot-heavy movie. But believe me, once the bullets start flying and people start getting, laid down, you probably don't even really give a fuck. Common is fantastic in this movie, and I think he actually is probably the second best part of this film. And I honestly think Common is so good in this film and probably the second best performance, the best performance I've seen from him in any movie, just to begin with. To the point where I would not mind a spin-off of Common's character just to begin with, and I think he's actually that good. Ruby Rose is entertaining, Ian McShane is always great. And you also have a couple of surprises, left and right for the most part. But overall, like I said, John Wick Chapter 2 actually delivers on a lot of things. And obviously you have Lawrence Fishburne, which definitely feels like he's a little bit of a cartoon character. But it's always kind of fun, that little mini Matrix reunion. But it also feels as if he's playing his character from Predators. That's just my thought. It kind of felt like he was playing the character from Predators. Now, the movie does feel like it's very long. It's a very long movie. And believe me, the action scenes kind of make the movie go very tight. It's a very lean piece of action. An action piece just to begin with. But I will have to say this, the movie does not feel as tight as the first one, I think. Just to begin with. Now, the cinematography and the looks of everything, they shoot the movie very well. There's no shaky cam like Resident Evil, just shaking that shit all around. Like Michael J. Fox is holding, the camera and also jerking off at the same time. You don't really get that here. And I feel like that's what it is. They give you time to see the action scenes, but also just between the action scenes, you also get a little bit of, character moments. There's times to let the characters kind of breathe a bit. just to begin with, and I feel like that allows you to kind of care a little bit more just to begin with. Now, this is not necessarily a character development piece, you know, or a character study. This is an action movie, and it's an action movie done pretty fucking great. But overall, like I said, it is pretty much basically the kind of the same thing as the first one, but from improved fight sequences, literally. From the cinematography to just opening up stuff with Continental and the Assassins, I think it adds a lot more interesting stuff that I think actually improves more on the sequel compared to the first one just to begin with. But overall, my money is this. I say go see John Wick Chapter 2 because it actually is going to, like I said, it's going to get the blood pumping to your loins. And that's pretty much all you really want in an action film, to really kind of inspire you to feel like a badass, and you probably want to buy a dog, maybe make that shit get killed, then go on an vengeful spree and to kind of be like Keanu in this movie. But then again, that's just my thoughts and that's my opinion. Comment, subscribe, and like if you actually enjoyed this video. Share this video if you can because that can actually be very helpful. I'm Chris Smith and I'm signing out.